Talking about vignettes and entertaining
Let's get on
wrestlers.
to some proper bollocks.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever, I'm joined by our very own Jim and I themselves. It's Jack Chance.
Hello.
And it's Sam Chance.
Hello.
And today is Sam's birthday. Happy birthday to Sam.
Thank you. Am I like the Queen? Do I get two?
Yes, yeah, we've got a concert later for you with Tom Jones and also Nikolai Volkov's
Nikolai
headlining.
Volkov.
But that
You get up there, do you?
was it going to be a jibe?
Yeah, of course it was. I'm all drunk. Arthur's son for you.
Yeah.
In from the post.
In from the pound was the one I thought of.
That could be it. Anyone
Shane
who's...
McGowan.
Shane McGowan and Jake the Snake.
What a team.
That's it.
What a
Just
team.
them two.
Why didn't they do a
Me,
podcast
Jake, and
together?
Shane McGowan. Oh,
That would have been a brilliant podcast instead of it being DDP and Jake. If it was Jake and
Shane
Shane McGowan. Yeah.
They just get worse.
That's the good one.
End
Nothing
of-
makes any sense by the end of it.
one got new teeth, the other one didn't.
But Sam has the power today. He has picked out a 6-match card from wrestling's past using wrestlers only once in the card. And we will be reviewing them match for match. Have you enjoyed having the power and not having to worry about CZW popping up or
Yes.
the Young Bucks?
Yeah, oh god, yeah. If that happened, I think I'd quit.
I would have. I tell you what, if we found that you'd picked a Young Bucks match in this, I think I would have had to quit.
I think I'd really need to look at myself and go, I think I need to stop drinking.
But we have, in the past birthdays episode, reviewed the day 7th of June 1989. But on the 7th of June 1989, WWF did run a Challenge TV taping in Rockford, Illinois. Want me to run you through some of the matches?
Yes.
Yes. So, opening, according to this, I'm assuming they structured it better. But based on the way that it's been written, it opened with Rick Rude beating Ultimate Warrior by countout. Brutus Beefcake beating Randy Savage by DQ. Hillbilly Jim defeating Andre the Giant by DQ. And then finally, you got some clean wins for Demolition over the Twin Towers. Kevin Kelly beating Jim Powers. And the Kevin Kelly's nails, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he must have had a trial and been
Must have done,
useless.
'cause I think he was working in the AWA.
Get out of here, you.
Yeah, I thought he
He
was.
was
Yeah,
in the
yeah, he
AWA,
was.
so
Top
Illinois,
star.
I think that was one of the
How long was
areas for AWA.
AWA around after?
Up until 91,
Was it
when
91?
according to Greg Gagne, Hogan agreed to go back with him.
Did he?
Yes, according to Greg
Of course he
Gagne,
did.
Hogan said he was going to go back to
Once
the
you saw that
AWA.
serial
But then
killer.
something happened with the newspapers, and that lost them all the money, and they went bump.
Something happened with the news. By the
Something
sun.
happened. I think that they had some link with some people who printed the newspapers, and there was a strike, so they lost all the money. It's all bullshit.
all the money was in newspapers. When he went bump. Christ.
Take for home video. Kurt Hennig beat Tito Santana, which is on Fan Favorites and 1989. If you want to watch it,
No.
Yes, check it out.
Should have chose that, Sam.
But then we had a load of sort of job matches. There was one competitive match, which was Coco beating Greg Valentine by reverse decision. What a match. The best however,
I've got a feeling Ronnie Garvin probably had something to do with that.
well, the best is that for challenge challenge taping on the 9th of July, so it was shown on the 9th of July, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart beat Jake Millman and Boris Zukov with Ronnie Garvin as the ref.
Jake Millman, sympathetic to Russia.
Yeah. We'll give them their milk.
Is Wrestling Challenge on the network?
Yeah, it's probably. I think so. Yeah.
Does it go as far as 89?
I don't know how far they go.
To be honest, it ain't weird where they just like pick like 1 year. Like, was it Superstars?
Yeah,
that was 92, and that's it.
Superstars have started adding them all.
They've gone up to 95, haven't they?
Wrestling Challenge, I think they only added a few.
Did Superstars start in 92 then? Or was it going well before?
I think it'd have gone well before that, because that was one. It was either Challenge was the A and Superstars was the B, or the other two.
It's strange how they just go,
well, Prime Time.
this is what we're going to do now.
We'll just shove some random wrestling challenges.
Yeah. But if I hope that at some point we get to see 1989's Wrestling Challenge, just so we can see Boris Zukov and Jake Millman as a team.
Maybe a watch along.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I hope.
Watch along. We shall watch while we watch it.
But yes, so hopefully your card will be a bit better than the 77 match
If
card.
we do this again next year, I am going to really screw up and just do some random shit.
Well, hopefully next year we'll do a full episode on Jake Millman, because he deserves it, the milkman. But Sam, I'm going to throw to you to open up your pay-per-view card.
Right, first match is the opener from SummerSlam 2002.
Yes.
Because I realised that rule. So
Yes.
it had to be an opening match.
It did.
Which is Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio.
Widely considered one of the best opening matches of all time.
The best SummerSlam.
One of the things that we definitely know is the best is that Taz is on commentary. It's Taz on commentary. I mean, what a way to kick off SummerSlam. Kurt Angle in his best shape ever. Rey Mysterio recently debuted, I think.
Yes.
And Taz. I mean, what a trio.
Yeah.
What do you need?
You just don't need anything else.
Just to ruin it, Michael.
Obviously, they don't have the ramp way, so Ray can't do his jump. So he jumps Angle from behind, takes him down with the leg scissors. The story already established is that basically Ray's trying to keep the pace up and Angle is trying to put him in the ankle lock. Kurt avoids the 619 and tosses Ray into the guardrails outside. Angle tries to ground Ray with a vicious suplex and a beaut of a German on a float over attempt. And Angle keeps Ray down with a clothesline. Angle sucks. That's what the chant from the crowd.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah. He really doesn't, though, does he?
No.
As he shows his sadistic side, punching and clawing at Ray in the corner. This is sort of like a transitional period for Angle, isn't it? Because he sort of gets more... He's sort of moving from the goofy Angle
to the serious.
sort of...
There were still some elements, but I think he kind of started to differentiate from being the goofy face and the serious heel.
Yeah.
I think that's other than 06 when he was in East.
Had he kissed Brock yet?
No, that was 2003.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I think Brock.
When are we going to do that?
The weird,
strange, homoerotic.
They love feud.
I don't know, because I think the actual feud when you watch the matches was good. It's just that
it was strange. It was very strange.
He's been saying. I mean, he's like, well, there must now be lovers. You're a strange man.
Yes. Angle catches the rally by Ray, hitting a side slam and locks in a half crab. Ray keeps feeding the heat with near falls, only to get grounded again by Angle. Ray hits a jawbreaker and looks again to Bill, but he's belly to belly, and the strap is down. I do like this sort of gear of Angles as well. He doesn't
the red and white stripes.
He doesn't use it very often, does he?
I think then he had like some of the better gears when it was like the different colours and stuff.
Yeah. Angle slam is reversed into an arm drag. Now Ray goes Ray drops the top rope, sending Kurt to the outside. This is a weird spot. So he goes to do his dive over the top. This is the breaking point for Corderas. He goes, no, I will ref it.
I've got to allow him to come in.
Yes, but I will also show you
my butt. Look at my bum. This is my butt. Look at my bum.
Ray dives over him onto Kurt on the outside and then springboard leg drops, but only gets a 2. Ray kicks Angle's ankle lock attempt away, and this leads to a 619 being hit and a West Coast pop for a 2. What a match, Taz calls, which I've got to say, it is a very good match. Ray goes up high, Angle rushes him, sets up a top rope Hurricane Rana. It's a tiny bit botchy, I suppose. It's not perfectly fluid, but Angle reverses this Hurricane Rana into an ankle lock. There's a small hope spot, but he drags Ray into the centre of the ring, and Ray taps, and the match is over. Sam, I mean, it's your match, so I doubt you're going to give us too much negativity.
No, definitely not, because it's a really good opener. Favourite SummerSlam, I would say. Well, one of my favourites, probably the favourite.
I think it's widely considered as well.
Peak both. This was the start of when you saw the SmackDown 6 coming in, because you got Eddie and Edge on the same card.
Yeah.
Benoit's losing the Inter, just to move that off. And
who did Benoit lose to?
RVD.
Oh, did
that was the interpromotional one, and Chavo was somewhere.
Probably with his little horse.
Yeah, probably. Don't show Vince that horse, for God's sake.
Get that man
But it's a really good match. It was either this or Regal Ultimo. Spoiler, you will see Ultimo later.
Yeah. Not Regal though.
But yeah, it was sort of like one of these two, which one? And the other one was for the TV title, which was my favourite belt. It's your. But I had to go with Angle because I wanted to get Angle on it, because particularly at this point. For these this to maybe 2005, he was probably the best wrestler.
Yeah, he was the best. He was definitely the best wrestler in the company.
Romeo.
Romeo Dunn
from the Heartthrobs.
Or Chad Dick.
Chad Dick.
Did they ever have a match? Chad Dick versus Romeo.
Big old special.
Well, one was Raw, one was SmackDown.
Well, that's it. That's why they kept them apart, didn't they?
Big Bill. Or have them on both.
Well,
overloading your card, your rosters.
Did we ever see the Dicks? We saw the Heartthrobs.
We never saw the Dicks.
We never saw the Dicks.
Which is a shame.
That is a shame, isn't it, though?
It's a shame we never saw Dick.
Well, there's still
hope. They had the part-time.
There's still hope with Chaos in the Castle or whatever it's called.
Might see him then.
Yeah,
the return of the Dicks.
How did they get hired as... I don't know why we've gone on to the Dicks, but how did they get hired by Vince? They're so small. They're so little.
Well, Vince say hiring them. He say, I want to create two...
Well, one of them was Tank Toland, who apparently was like a really big indie star at the time. Was he in ROH?
I don't think Tank was.
I know the name, but I can't tell you why I know the name. I've seen the name.
Considered a really good wrestler.
Good one.
And he had the other one. They didn't get on either, did they?
No, they had a fight. That's what they got them fighting. They fought each other.
I really think
we had a fight.
Come on, Dicks are firing. Fire them.
We did the 6.
Fire them. Anyway, that's it. Instead of just letting them have a fight and get ass, fire them.
The Dicks must get along, obviously. Yeah, we've got to do it. We've got to do an episode.
We did one match of them there against Boogeyman.
Yeah, and we've done. Did we do the Heartthrob? Have we seen the Heartthrob?
I don't think we've ever saw the Heartthrob.
No. Oh God.
That would be like
Kane did something on May 19th. Did he just come out during one of the matches or something?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe I just watched him when we were doing the
You're a strange boy.
You gotta watch.
Well,
when you see
that did have a bit of a push at that time. I think.
Who did that feud with? Why are we talking about the Heartthrobs and the Dicks?
Obscure, ruthless aggression.
We'll park that until we come back to do a full episode on them. Jack, thoughts on the match?
Yeah, it was very good. It's his peak angle. And Ray, it does feel like even in losing, you are establishing him as he's going to be a main character on SmackDown going forward. Everything's fluid, everything's crisp, everything's clean.
Yeah.
And it's, it could have gone another 10, 15 minutes easy and they'd have still been fine. But it was a shorter opening, but I think that helped it.
Yeah.
And it was a very,
These
very
two can
good
pull
opening.
off a good a good short match.
Yeah, just compact to it.
Well, the pace was so good.
It helps Ray.
The pace was brilliant. Yeah.
Being quick.
And I think it does. I think you're right. I think it elevates immediately. It's showing that we've not just brought him in to be cute cruiserweight fodder. He's going to be, at the top end of the card. And it was pretty much, wasn't it? I mean, this was a WrestleMania main event.
I think he did go down to the cruiserweight a bit later on when he feuded with Matt Hardy, which was a good feud.
But that was more to that elevated the title more so
than... because you had Matt trying to cut the weight and whatever. And he was cruiserweight a few times up until, I think it was like 2005, when he properly just never really fought for the cruiserweight again. Right?
When he got on the gas.
When did they retire? We went on a lot of tangents.
Retired in 2007, I think.
Is that when they retired?
Yeah, when they gave it the leprechaun.
Well, is it the leprechaun in match 2?
Well, God no.
Match 2.
Match 2, it's tag team match.
Tag team.
You have to have at least one.
Of course.
And it is from NXT on the 11th of July, 2018, for the tag titles, Mustache Mountain, Local Heroes.
Local Heroes.
Just down the road.
It's the Dudley Boys.
One Wolverhampton. Versus the Undisputed Era, minus Bobby Fish.
Yes, it's not Bobby Fish. It is Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. So they've recently won the titles, Mustache Mountain, that is, from the Undisputed Era, I think. So the commentary team do a good job filling us in on the feud, and that Mustache Mountain are the new champions. I'd forgot that because how long were they on NXT before Vince went, or whoever went? No, that's their.
Have you seen the state of him? He caught up. Send him off. They did sporadically appear and have a little. If there was over there, they'd be on a couple of tapings, but they never had a big long run with a takeover match.
Yeah, it was sort of like Pete Dunne at the beginning, where he was sort of
just to establish the UK belt.
Yeah. NXT champs who won them at the Royal Albert Hall are out. I'm not a big fan of the theme. I don't
like that theme.
I just think you could do so much with Mustache Mountain, and it just feels a bit sort of generic-y to me.
I don't mind the theme in terms of a song. I understand that it probably don't fit with what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, what they are.
They shouldn't have pay the bloody royalties.
There was in AEW that have Sledgehammer.
Well, that was the team. That was just Tyler Bates' theme, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sledgehammer, because I think the team had
when we went
Love Is Blindness by it was the U2 something that covered it by the White Stripes.
Oh, okay.
Because I think when we saw them, that's what
they came out to. I can't remember that.
Yeah,
I can't remember what.
So I don't know if it was in Peaky Blinders at all, but obviously that's what they went.
Trent Seven's theme.
When we went and see
he had Seven Nation Army.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
We gotta have that for Pat McAfee.
Nigel McGuinness gives Trent and Tyler the Big Build their friendship, and dropping that they run a local UK-based promotion, which we have seen.
Yes, in a shit building in Wolverhampton.
Yes. I'm getting this out the way. Dueling Chants, fuck off. I don't like them. They just do my head in.
It's just a sign of the times, eh?
Yeah, I just hate them. Just boo. Either choose who you want to boo, or boo the heel, for God's sake. We do get championship introductions.
Or if you like them both, boo the ref.
Exactly, yeah. Someone must be booed. The Undisputed Era jump the champs to start us off. But there's a little do-si-do and European uppercuts followed by sort of leg up back senton. And you're going to have to tell me, I put it as the double bang sucker punch. What's it called?
Bop and bang.
Bop and bang. What a name for a punch. It started very, very hot. They start brawling on the outside, and the story of the match is already set about a minute in as Trent Seven gets his legs smashed onto the steel.
Well, they'd already started that in the UK shows, hadn't they, as well? They'd already worked up. That's why he had that big, massive knee pad.
Ranello, I mean, I love Ranello in so many ways.
He's a bit too over the top sometimes.
But he's build. It's like, as soon as he drops his knee on that, it's like, he's going to have to be shot. They're going to have to kill him.
Put him down. He's dead. Take them curtains.
He's just so used to working alone, I think.
Yeah, and I think with a three-man booth, because it's Nigel McGuinness, Ranello, and Percy Watson.
Is it Percy Watson?
Yeah, I think it is. And I feel so bad for Percy Watson.
He can't
get a word in.
Well, Nigel's going to, fill in bits, and then what's Percy going to do? Oh, yeah!
I like Percy.
I like Percy.
And I do as well.
I think quite good he was.
I like Ranello, but I do think it's difficult to have a 3-man with Ranello. It's difficult to have a 2-man.
I think he's a very pay-per-view kind of main event commentator as well.
A special feeling.
If I listen to him every week on every match, and that is how heightened he was, I think
it would have been better swapping him with the one in the next one, Tom Phillips, because he's quite good. Either one who...
he's very...
Because
Is he in WWE still?
He's in Impact now.
He's
basically everybody just leaves.
No one's in the same company anymore.
No. Everybody's gone.
So Trent is already isolated and cornered as all the work is zoned in on his leg. The brace is attempted to be removed by Roderick Strong, but it's a very strong brace. He just sort of gives
God
up.
damn, these British braces don't come off.
Trent, one-legged man swinging his good leg, only to get it into a heel lock for his troubles. Again, this is where the dual chant started to piss me off, because he's trying to sell, but you got this stupid dual chant. Tries to kick out, and Kyle drops his weight onto the leg of Trent Seven, but he's draped onto the bottom rope. There's little hope with a roll-up, and then he dumps Strong and O'Reilly out. The crowd and the commentary team build to the hot tag, but just as he dives to make it, Kyle O'Reilly drops Tyler Bate, and he's perfectly timed. I mean, literally perfectly timed. Trent chops away at Strong and then hits a snap DDT. Again, the hot tag is stopped, this time with a big boot to Tyler Bate. The commentary team, again, start doing an amazing sort of job of telling us the story of the match. Tyler Bate does now get his hot tag, and his back body drops are brilliant, aren't they? The no-handed sort of
just
back body drops.
With power.
High knees, diving European uppercut, and then a standing shooting star press, all for a near fall. There's a lovely exploder suplex on Roderick, and then on to Kyle O'Reilly. Tyler does his spins on both men as the Doc seated Trent on the outside. There's a deadlift German for a 2, which is ridiculous. I mean, Tyler Bate, he's just a star, and he just if he was a foot taller and didn't sound like he was fat, didn't sound like us. Then he would definitely.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, that man the belt.
He's just so good. He hits a reverse clothesline, and I've put Tiger Bomb, but is it called Tyler Bomb?
Tyler Driver.
Tyler Driver.
Tyler Driver 97.
Yeah. Oh, because that's when he was born, isn't it? It gets a 2 as Carl stops the pin. Bate considers tagging out, but decides not to. Roderick hits a half Nelson slam, and Kyle hits a really vicious brainbuster for a very close near fall. There's a miscommunication, and Tyler has rallied, but he's drop kicked into the corner, and this is where Trent decides to make the tag himself. He's still on one leg. He hits a lariat for a 2, but starts selling the injured leg. Strong locks in the Strong clutch, and Tyler gets in to break it up. But the referee tells him it's his one attempt, which is... Why don't they do that more often? Like, it's okay to have rules. We understand rules.
And you can build stories within it.
Well, it does. This builds a story because he's made his decision to do it then, and therefore he pays for that decision later.
Sorry, you caught it.
Exactly. It's just really clever storytelling. Trent is isolated, and Kyle dives double knees onto the leg. There's a heel hook, and the crowd now start to build. They'll stop doing that stupid double chant. The commentary teams do wonders about the pain he's in. Trent sells it just perfectly. Inches away, starts clawing, slapping, desperate to break the hold. There's a double knee bar now as Tyler is desperate for Trent to make tag, considers throwing the towel in. Trent now sort of screams at him not to do it.
Oh, do it.
Yeah. The crowd builds, and just as Trent is about to pass out, Tyler Bate throws in the towel, and the match is called, and we have new tag team champions. I mean, need I say any?
It's just a perfect tag match. Yeah. Perfect story. Probably my favourite tag match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I always remember watching it first time here.
Yeah.
With Jack, and it's just the finish.
Yeah.
And the throwing in the towel, because you don't see that often either.
No.
I mean, obviously you get it in like the I Quit.
And I get it with Owen with Bob. winning the world title.
That was actually quite good as well, that story. Because of how inactive
exactly.
It works. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it, but maybe still have that as a rule.
Yeah, it's definitely got a place in wrestling without a shadow.
And it works because obviously Mustache Man can always come out with the towel, so it's like he's there.
Yeah.
Because if that were there, what would you do?
He'd throw his mustache.
Yeah. He'd just jump in it himself. DQ, we still get the belt. But yeah, flawless tag match.
I mean, it's so story driven from the start. They've already started telling you the story. Mm-hmm. It's really, really well done. Trent, he always gets overshadowed because he's like the old man in the group.
But he's a bit wobbly.
He's a bit wobbly, but he does a really good job.
He's a really good seller.
And Tyler Bate is just a star, absolute star. The cruelness of Undisputed Era as well, even though they're so fashionable. You know what I mean? They're a bit NWO, like very cool.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that they're so cruel in what they do, they come out feeling like real heels. And the commentary team as well, I thought that even though Ranello had obviously
I think Nigel McGuinness did help in a lot. Nigel McGuinness helped in a lot. I think if Corey could have done a bit of a job with it, but I think Nigel McGuinness,
what happened to McGuinness in terms of WWE?
He's still there. He's on NXT UK and he does NXT Level Up.
He does.
He was on NXT, but they had he got furloughed, and then they got Barrett back there, so they just had Barrett.
See, I think there's a mass. I'd have him on one of the main shows. I would Nigel McGuinness because I like how analytic. I know that's the problem. He does sound English as well. Not like Barrett, who can kind of get away with it. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for it. But like I say, the fact that the commentary team, even though Ranello was 60 after 10 seconds.
It never stopped.
I can't find anything to crit. I really would struggle to criticise the match, Jack.
No, it's perfect. It is a perfect match. Everything about it. And it's what wrestling should be. If you could turn that on without being a wrestling fan, then you'd be entertained.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You'd understand what the story is.
Yeah.
These are the heels, these are the faces, and the story is he's got a bad leg. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. They're going to do a tope suicide 6 times.
No, well, exactly. There was one spot where I thought, like the brain buster thing, even though it was well done, I could have probably done without the brain buster because to me the brain buster feels like a finisher. That was the only spot that I could possibly say you could have took out. Nowadays, you have to do 70 flips and dives outside and stuff to tell the story. You just don't need to do it. This is proof that you don't need to do it. This and Vern Gagne versus Chris Von Erich in a 60-minute brawl.
All Baron's got to do is come out, put his hand in the claw, and you think, well, that's it.
That's it. Sam, is it Baron?
I hope it is.
No, it's not. No Baron. There's no Baron, unfortunately. He was close, but no Baron. I couldn't find him. But and the one match we did watch, unfortunately, Villain and Greg was commentating on it.
Yeah, we didn't. How we interfered in the 6-man league.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was very strange. But the next match is a women's match. It's for the NXT Women's title. Takeover Orlando 2017.
Yes.
Asuka versus Ember Moon.
Yes, Ember Moon being one of your favourite women's wrestlers. Ember Moon, what's her new name now? Athena, isn't it?
I think that's her
the real fallen
name.
goddess.
She is.
I think her real name's Athena.
I thought it was Jeff.
You've been watching Iron Man.
That would have been brilliant if Jeff is all elite.
It's Jeff! Oh, goddamn.
I mean, I've got to say, I know as fans nowadays, it's easy to criticise WWE whenever they release anyone. You just go, oh, there's loads of money in them. You should have made them world champ. You should have made them world champ for 50 years because they're the greatest wrestler ever. Exactly.
You should have made a world champ for 50 years. Well, this one.
Oh, I should have been them.
He should have been world champ for 50 years. What about this one you said earlier? Oh, should have been world champ. Sure.
Yes, but Ember Moon, to me, that's a missed opportunity because she does.
She'd have been the arse kicking babyface.
Yeah,
like Naomi, I always think she could be like the underdog babyface.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
What
it's injuries, I think.
Is that what it was?
They had a few injuries. They sent her back down to NXT, and once you do that, unless you like Mandy, who's running it at the moment, she got no chance of it.
No, but I mean, the thing is, I think you can see the stylisation of Ember Moon's character just in her entrance theme, the way that she comes out, the look, the sort of blue context which contrasts against the fireness of her, and then the moon element. And it's just
you just feel it's got a connection.
Yeah. Just and I even got to lay a hand on anyone. I already feel like. That. Well, she's cool. I can watch her. And Asuka, well, Jesus Christ.
Asuka's Asuka, I think.
I think Asuka is just Asuka. She just exists in the world of Asuka. She is the longest reigning champion of anyone in NXT, we are told. And we get our championship introductions. Creepy little Regal in the corner.
What game?
No, I've done it. Did you see that? Yeah, blood and guts. I love it.
They only brought him. There was no context as to why he should
I saw it.
They just had Eddie Kingston say, Regal, tell him, blood and guts. And then he buggers off, and it's like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. I love that though because they just don't understand, do they? But it's brilliant. It doesn't really matter in AEW, does it? Because the fans are going to all like
be just bother everything.
Yeah, exactly. But I do love that he's got something to garble out.
Blood and guts.
He's there.
He's a war game.
No, you'll never be able to top that. He's there basically to introduce the new NXT Women's Champion, championship belt, I should say, to the crowd, which does get a nice pop. And it is. I do like the fact that it's very similar to the world title,
it's just the Silver X.
I think the NXT was silver on that one.
If it was Vince, he would have definitely had like a ladybird belt.
Oh, it's white. It's got a white strap and it's
already.
Well, they've all got coloured sort of bits in it because it's NXT 2.08. So.
I hate the crappy belts nowadays. Most
They're
belts
still the
nowadays.
same design.
They're
still the same design. It's just different. Coloured, like.
They changed the North American, have they? Because that's a nice belt. I like that.
The North American belt.
That's still the same.
That looks like a boxing belt.
Yeah, it does a little bit. And I thought
it's quite nice.
Historically, it was sort of treated as the sort of a boxing-y kind of belt, wasn't it? The North American, the middle sort of floating belt.
The middle.
Yeah.
Belt is the IC for the
Who
brand.
is the champ of that at the moment?
After last night.
Oh, we lost it.
He lost it to Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah. How did it?
It's alright because this goes out in 2 days, so it'll make really.
Carmelo Hayes, he won it in your house.
Yeah, it'll be really current.
What was in the news today?
The Queen!
We did a bear! Imagine doing that with a bear! Is that what they did? Brian Danielson, what should we do for the Jubilee? That's what he said.
Imagine doing that with a bear. Brilliant.
Paddington, come here.
So Asuka backs up Moon to start us off, and we get an arm drag, leg drag, headlock, the reversal, the double drop kick, and the respect spot. Asuka mugs off Moon though, and the handshake, and he's stripped up for it. She suckers her in again. She suckers Moon into a charge spot and hip attacks her. Moon then drops her and does a sort of nosy thumb taunt.
Yeah, could have done a little bit without that, personally. Yeah, could have done without that. You're a badass, don't you?
Yeah.
That's Ronnie Garvin who doesn't know.
Only rugged Ronnie can get away with it.
Turn it into the Ronnie Garvin podcast.
Oh, God, no, I don't like him. Just carry on.
Former NWA World Champion Ronnie Garvin.
Look at him.
How can you not like Ronnie?
He looks like a tasteless prawn cracker.
I want to find the one kid that had all posters of Ronnie Garvin on the bedroom wall. There's got to be one. There's a hip attack now, knocking Ember off the apron onto the guardrail. Huge and very stiff back fists and a kick, and Asuka now has the advantage. She retains the advantage with another hip attack, and then we get our first tease of the Asuka lock. Springboard dive from the middle rope over the top rope onto the outside onto Asuka. Asuka doesn't stay down long though. She gets a 2 on a Shining Wizard. There's yes kicks, and Asuka has been pretty dominant so far. She teases the Asuka lock, and then after a few sort of minutes, she sort of gets it in, but it doesn't feel like she's got it in. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Never feels like there's that big moment where you think, oh, she's got to finish and move on here. Ember teases fading, but she hits a backdrop to release the hold. And I swear to God, Nigel McGuinness must have been told in his ear, your core build this up. Because they definitely mention something around like no one's broke this hold. And he goes to say she's the first person to break. And then someone shouts and says, don't say that because someone probably has broken. So he just sort of goes quiet and just sort of goes, oh, whatever. Hey, Buffett.
You're British. What are you saying?
It's a nice spot as the hip attack is missed and Ember hits a super kick of sorts to lay out Asuka. There's leg attacks now from Moon, leg sweep, there's leg scissors, there's a modified Shining Wizard, and then a fall away slam to finish. Nice modification on the handstand sort of elbow, which is a sort of handstand flip into a clothesline. But it's very fluid, and she keeps a lot of pace, to be fair, when she does it. Strong saw slaps and kicks from both women. Moon gets her first near fall as she traps the leg of Asuka and it's a belly to belly. Asuka goes full on heel now, though, and she sort of tosses the ref into the ropes to stop the Eclipse and then hits a Shining Wizard for a 3. Yeah. Sam?
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's Ember Moon, so I think they should have done so much more with it.
Yeah.
And I think with this, because obviously Asuka's like the monster in that nobody beats her.
Yeah.
Ever. Until Charlotte. I think they could have, with the subtle heel turn.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done with it. Carry on. You can build this story. I know we're changed, but that recording's lost. But carry on with the subtle, like, have her do little heelish things leading up to the final one when you're eventually going to call her up, Asuka. Yeah. And then have Ember beat her, and then you can do the respect thing. And then, okay, you've got Ember as the ready-made face of the women's division on NXT, and Asuka can lose to Charlotte and whoever else on the main roster.
I think it's sensible that Asuka won the match because Ember Moon, even though she's on the upward trajectory, if I beat Asuka...
Her hadn't long been in it, had her, Ember? I think her hadn't long debuted, had her?
And if she doesn't just beat Asuka, Asuka's beaten all the roster, so then where do you go with Ember?
So I agree that she should have lost.
Yeah, I just think...
I like the way that it happened, because it did Asuka that little bit of an edge. Even though she can kick your ass, he elevated Ember by that she had to cheat to do it.
I always like that anyway.
So,
when
you could keep building on that to build up Ember.
Yeah.
For eventually Asuka to then move on, and then you've got Ember there, and you could do it again.
Yeah, definitely. How long? It's easy, Vince. How long after this was Asuka called up to the roster?
I don't know how long.
By the end of 2017,
she gets injured. Is what happens.
Yeah.
She dropped the title through injury.
She just through the injury. Yeah, she gets injured, so they strip her of the belt. They already knew it was going up to Raw anyway,
so
she had the recovery before she come.
So she never actually lost the NXT Women's.
No, she never lost in NXT.
No, she went 500 now or something like that.
Yeah,
you got a ready-made storyline if it gets boring on the main roster in the future, I suppose.
The loss was against Charlotte, worried maybe.
Yeah, and it was a submission loss as well.
Did you
quit tap? And then Cena after it ran up the ramp.
Charlotte celebrated.
As Charlotte was celebrating,
that's when he take us here.
I love that.
So basically, that just fucked over everybody, particularly Asuka twice.
Yeah. It's easy, Vince. It's easy.
It was alright, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Sam.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, man.
It was alright. There's a lot of kicks. I don't mind kicks.
Yeah, you can just down the kick.
Just do a body slam. They are. But, the story of Asuka cheating to win, more heelish, gives Ember another title match is good.
Yeah.
But I could have done with that.
It definitely felt like a match that was like the first of a like a trilogy or something.
Oh, definitely.
It didn't feel like this is the only match I'm going to have, so like, again, a lot of kicks. But
and I
think it was just the ending I liked.
I understand why, because this is probably as popular as NXT ever sort of got. It sort of went from that bubble, and then all of a sudden there was an undercurrent, and then they wanted to fill arenas.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they filled arenas, they realised, well, we should never have filled arenas. We were better as a small promotion.
The problem... Well, this is why they changed direction 8 is because it sort of never served its purpose once it became the indie Fed. And then they go up to the main roster and they never do anything because Vince don't want them. What's the point in it? You've got to change direction to it.
It can't become what ECW should have been when they bought that back.
The performance
it's like they've got everything the wrong way around.
It just makes the performance centre redundant because no one who's going there is actually getting on the main roster because it's all the indie people.
And to a certain extent, it got to a point where, I mean, Meltzer sort of bought into it. You just sort of went, every match that ever happens in NXT is 20 times better than anything that happens in WWE. So therefore, we hate WWE and we love NXT, even though it's the same company.
Yes,
it should only serve its own purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they should have shit matches, but I'm just saying, like, when you start just doing spot fests in big arenas, like you run it like an AEW sort of product.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Where can you go with them? Because they am going to wrestle different when they get to when Vince gets older.
That was why it could maintain its heat for so long, is because once they finished with them, they went up to the main roster. They stay around.
Yeah. That's right.
So the character couldn't get stale because they'd already been.
You had to cycle things, and that's what you need. You need to cycle people in and out, really.
So anyway, talking about vignettes and entertaining
wrestlers. Let's get on to some proper bollocks.
So we are having a break from the pay-per-view to have a vignette spot. So over to you, Sam.
Right. It's proper era. This is late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
It is the build for a feud that didn't happen.
No.
With Warrior and Jake.
Yes.
I will leave that there.
So I will put a link to all of the vignettes, which you can get on YouTube back to back on our.
From looking at it, WWE must have released it all together because they had that little pumpkin.
I think they
might have done it as like a special.
I think it might have been a vintage collection.
Yeah.
Where when it used to be on in the UK and stuff. And it was probably an Halloween.
That's what I was thinking.
So, yes, we start off in the funeral parlour with Paul Bearer. Welcome to us. Jake is still face at this point. He's recently lost Damien thanks to Earthquake's arse. He cuts a promo about feeling death firsthand. He warns Paul Bearer that he'd spit in death's face should he come along. Jake says that he has the devil resting on his shoulder, the same as Paul Bearer, and he suggests that Taker has his hands full with the Ultimate Warrior. He asks how Undertaker and Paul Bearer would feel about him sharing the dark secrets with the Ultimate Warrior. Paul Bearer's acting.
It's true.
It's brilliant. And the crowd pop as Jake tells Warrior to release the fear and trust me, which is nice foreshadowing.
Nice subtle.
Yes. Great build. Paul Bearer's going brilliant.
Paul Bearer's always brilliant when you watch him.
Lord Alfred Hayes introduces us to the first lesson for the Warrior.
Oh, dear.
So we go to a candlelit room.
So many good people. Lord Al.
We go to a candlelit room and Warrior is sitting in a casket.
He's just welcome.
He's just welcome. He looks very uneasy.
Nobody's done his hair.
Yeah.
There's Tina Turner.
He's got his Tina Turner hair. And he's very snorty as well. He loves a snort.
Well,
he's with Jake.
We see an overshot of the footage of Warrior being trapped in the casket from before. Oh, God.
Did you see the part where they were smacking it with a sledgehammer?
Yeah.
As that helped. I think that was actually from what Bruce Pritchard's listening to his podcast, apparently, because the Daylight Warrior, the knew that was in there, that did that on purpose to try it.
Oh, brilliant.
They said, it ain't going to help, but for him, we don't like him. You're going to smack the casket with a sledgehammer.
What a bastard.
I know. Jake locks the casket on him, teaching him and teasing that this is the first piece of the puzzle. He starts sort of yelping and then he sort of settles down a little bit. And there's quiet. Jake sort of doing his grinch. He opens the casket. Oh, this is one of the best.
It is quite bad. It's brilliant.
Warrior sits up a la the Undertaker. So he's now the Undertaker. And
he's got the eye of the Undertaker.
He's got the eye of the Undertaker. It's amazing acting. I mean, the look on his face is just fucking amazing.
It's got his puffy hair.
Yeah. He looks like he's just woke up.
He don't know where he is. What's happening?
He's been on a bit of a buzz, let me tell you that. I was on the pitch last time. He looks like Hardy. He's really had long hair on a bad night. What the bloody hell happened?
That's just Act 1.
Exactly. Brilliant.
Act 2, and we're in the graveyard. God. It's a foggy graveyard. Very foggy. As Jake
I did like Jake's little bit of monologue there.
Yeah, it was.
I did like that. He's always good at that.
Oh, it's clever though, and he links everything back and stuff.
Tells us digging up the past. I really like that.
If you're gonna give me this shit, I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, exactly. Yes. He tells us Warrior has felt the coldness of these stones, and he tells us Warrior is digging up the past. Warrior is grunty, and there's a red smoke coming from the hole. Is he dug through to hell?
To hell. Christ. There's Scrooge there from that 1971 film. Is it gonna come up?
Alfred Finney, what? Albert Finney.
He was going to in the corner of Warrior.
Warrior tells Jake off here. He says, "I trusted you, and I'm going to do it again."
Yeah,
Warrior.
He's got over his taker phase.
Yeah, he's all right now. He's reached the casket and pulls out a skull, which is just bizarre. Then scream, "Bury me!"
He don't get the bottom bit of the jaw, so the jaw must still be stuck to the body. It's just the top bit.
Did he have a silver tongue? Was it Jebediah Springfield?
Maybe that's what they was doing.
He tells Jake to bury him. And he literally does. And then Warrior turns all Victor Meldrew.
I think you do the burying, Warrior.
Oh, it's just amazing. He's buried up to his chin, looking all tired now again. He's tuckered out, isn't he?
What?
Just staring into the skull.
That's amazing.
And Warrior,
stare at this.
Jake just fucks up.
Yeah, good. I'm going to leave you here.
It's cold.
Don't you say I'm going to leave you here all day and all night? So basically, and I said this, can you imagine if the family of that person who got buried come to visit the grave and go, what the hell thing?
That would have been brilliant.
Why is my dad Scott there at the Ultimate Warrior?
When Jake come back, there's all flowers around his head. In a candle.
So we put a teddy bear on it. Somebody went, hang on, somebody ain't done any more of this. Very properly.
He's got a wolf scarf on his head. I mean, what is wrestling thinking? Now we're in the basement. Jake tells us that inside the coffin is Lucifer. It's his last test. Warrior wants to go inside as Jake lets him in. He turns on the lights. Sneaky Jake. There's fucking loads of snakes all over the
booting them there. Jake does say though, apparently the snakes was literally biting Warrior. Because they told him, when you go in, shuffle your feet, because they won't. But he was going in, stomping, kicking them, so they just started attacking him. And to be honest,
you can see one of them's eating another one.
Yeah.
The steak. You know.
What can you imagine if there's just one
left? For a feud.
One left and all the others have been ate by this one snake.
He reaches the coffin in the middle of the room, and this is the introduction to the Cobra, which will play part of the Jake's future at the very least. It bites the Warrior, and he convulses as Jake refuses to open the door. I mean, Jake has legitimately killed the Warrior.
Take that!
He welcomes the Man in Black. You can't say Men in Black anymore. Say Will Smith. No, he welcomes the Man in Black, who walks in, and Warrior breaks through the door and falls at the feet of the Undertaker.
With Paul Bearer there.
Yes. Jake tells Warrior you should never trust a snake, and he's turned full on heel.
Yeah.
Left the Warrior to die.
The ending of Saw, eh? Game over.
I mean, what the fuck is that?
It's so bad. It's brilliant. Yeah. I kind of want to see the feud, but I don't because he's Warrior.
Oh, it would have been awful. It would have been awful.
Jake would have lost every match. But when you start with the first promo, it kind of leads you to think Jake's going to feud with Taker.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. And he did.
But he did later.
Turning face now.
Because, quite weird. Actually, when you think about it, all of you left. So Jake went with Savage with Taker. But then Taker turned on Jake. Taker turned on Jake. I know, man. Sid was there. Yeah. That's very confusing.
91 was a strange
very time. Strange.
Taker, you don't mind you trying to kill Warrior with a snake, but do it, Liz, with a chair.
I have morals. All right, but it is just the ending, and the promos after. I think I should have added them. He did one promo about possibly fighting the Warrior, and it goes on about a snake that was injured, and the rabbit nursed him back to health. And even the snake was saying at the time, you shouldn't trust me, I'm a snake. But then the rabbit goes, no, I'll help you, what have you. And then the snake had left, but then come back and was about to attack. And they said, well, why am you doing this? Because I helped you. And he goes, well, I'm a snake, I told you all along. So the promos really worked.
That's the beauty of it. I mean, it's just perfect storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, and at the end, I think the Man in Black comment, probably you could have done without, where he just went, and then have him break through the door. Because the Man in Black, you kind of know somebody's here. Probably take it.
It's an earthquake.
If he just went, see how the devil's work's done. And then he falls, grabs the feet, and you hear the theme play, don't you? Take his theme. It's just bollocks, but it's funny.
That's brilliant.
It would be better if you said, the Man in Black. It looks like Typhoon.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Fucking Colonel Mustafa. Starts marching in.
Again, you've got to have a bit of bollocks, and this is the bollocks.
It is just so bad that it's good. It's like one of Warrior's best feuds because he never had a match.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the beauty of Warrior, isn't it? A lot of what you remember of Warrior is nothing.
Throw it up.
Yeah.
By a snake.
Yeah. And it was just brilliant. Jake is a heel. I think his character's always been a heel. Although obviously
the problem is
because people liked him, but he needed to be heel.
He's so good.
What we've said about the Undisputed Era, just sometimes, unfortunately, people are just so good at being heels that they have to turn face. So Orton's a bit like it, isn't it? Eventually, they realise we're going to have to turn him face because everyone loves him as a heel, and then he's a bit shit as a face, and so they turn him heel.
Because they try and change him. If they just left him,
it'd
have been fine. But when you try and make him
do it all the time, now the Miz and Carlito and all
exactly.
So if you just let somebody do the same, just allow people to make their own decision.
I just love the sin and the devil and the snake, and it just all sort of works perfectly. Yeah. And strangely,
can you imagine if
Warrior is just the perfect
That's what I was thinking.
When I looked at it, he would have just slammed the Cobra.
Hogan wouldn't have sat up and done all the stuff. Savage, I know he was there, but Savage, I don't think.
No, it's
really, he had to be worried because then in the top three faces, you got to turn on one of them.
There is something amazing though about the thought that in a separate universe, Hogan is buried up to his chin. The dirty Fu Manchu and. I have to beg him so his hand was up just his hand.
Instead of Snake Man, Jake Dude.
Oh dear. Right, let's get away from the levity. Back to the match card. Match 4.
Right, match 4. It's a match in Japan, surprisingly, which is Ultimo Dragon. I had to get him on.
Yes.
Versus Jushin Liger.
And I will be posting another link on our
This took me a while to find.
So it's Ultimo Dragon versus Jushin Liger. Ultimo Dragon is the champion, but he doesn't actually wrestle.
Is he in all Japan?
Which is amazing, really, when you think about it. He's holding the IGWP
711. And this is on a WCW show.
Because that's a nice surprise. Tony Schiavone and JR.
I've got to get my boy Tony Schiavone on.
Jushin Liger is in his blue gear. He does look like a star, though, doesn't he? I mean, he looks so Japanese as well, doesn't he?
He does work.
He is just Japanese.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon walks down to his relaxing music in a huge headdress. JR tells us the crowd is very much pro Liger because of the sort of all Japan rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the belts, though. What the fuck is that belt?
Is that the tiny one?
The tiny belt.
Tiny belt. For some reason, the junior belts, and for some reason, the heavyweight tag belts, are very tiny.
And
they only bothered about the IWGP belt.
Yeah. The ring announcer as well is the Stave Puffed man from. He's so white. I've never seen. White. Just a big dome of white, like it was foam.
It was funny, like listening to Jim Ross and Tony. He goes, right, Tony, I'm going to let you do the translation here for the announcer. And he just went, no. And he just did the Japanese announcements.
So yes, JR fills us in that Ultimo is not a New Japan boy, and he holds the IWGP title. There's wrist locks and lucha reversals, multiple arm drags, and a double dropkick spot, rehashing the match before. Bad card structure.
Bad card, sir.
They have a.
We have Jake in the middle, God.
That's true, yeah, we forgot now. We're just all coming down from our sugar rush.
No, I know what match would fill this spot if Ultimo was in the first line. So.
Mat work now as both men try to get in holds on the legs of the other. Ultimo seems to get the first proper hold, which is an extension of the knee of Liger. Liger reverses the hold after a shoulder block to the mat. Liger locks in a front face lock and hits a strung style drop kick to the shin of Ultimo Dragon. There's standing figure 4 and a spinning leg lock now by Ultimo. Grapevine with a bridge and then a bow and arrow. And it's been very sort of nicely paced, but it is all mat work so far, which I wasn't expecting. Head scissors with a slap on the leg from Ultimo Dragon. Vince would not approve the slap of leg. You can't slap your leg.
Don't slap your leg.
Liger locks in the surfboard and adds in a chin lock. There's a tilt to world backbreaker, and the first near fall goes to Liger. Not Comrie, weren't there? Cannonball style spin kick in the corner and an open palm punch, but Dragon handstands away from Liger's dive. Front face lock, and Ultimo does his own sort of surfboard submission, but with a Dragon sleeper in for good measure. And Liger struggles away. Dragon locks in the camel clutch, and we get some high offense finally. And the first offense is a bit of a botch as Dragon sort of slips off.
There is a little bit that I do actually agree with, because I did mention about his ankles possibly being not what they used to be, because I think he's had a lot of problems with the ankles. So when he did the first one, I heard it, but I think I just missed it. But the second one, when he does go on and fall off, I thought I liked that JR and Tony did mention that his ankles
he just got off.
Shut up.
No, but he loves to slip, doesn't he? He loves to slip off the leg. Become a part of his career.
But at the same time, I suppose at the same time, that's why the commentators and so because they're covering for him, saying he might be a bit older.
We
fucked up.
Vintage. Oh, they let us down.
No.
There's a top rope crossbody off the top onto Liger on the outside, and it looks like Dragon cracks his face on the table on the outside as well. There's a brainbuster suplex for a 2, and Ultimo now he's looking completely dominant. After a few teases, Dragon hits his tombstone, but rather than covering, he just goes up top. And he slips again.
But again, the story was told.
Yes, because of the bad.
He's obviously got bad ankles.
He does look. It does look like it pisses him off.
It does.
Well.
It looks like I'm surprised that you just slap Liger in the face.
Like it was your fault.
God damn it!
Fall away slam into a standing moonsault for a 2. We get a few near falls for both men now as they do up the pace, and the crowd does start to build into it. Bridge German suplex by Ultimo, but Liger puts his foot on the ropes to escape. Liger hits a roll through on a spin kick and then hits his power bomb. Is Liger's finished the power bomb?
The running Liger bomb
On the outside. There's a senton now on the outside, and Ultimo beats the 20 count. But Liger's now on top. He does try a cocky one-handed pin, which JR sort of tells him off for. There's a big power bomb, and Ultimo lands on his neck, and really does land on his neck.
This is Japan.
Yes. Top rope double clothesline spot, and Dragon modifies his Asai moonsault to hit a senton instead. The crowd are building into it as there's a vicious electric chair style sort of front drag, is what I'll put it. Is that, Jack? Do you know what it would have been called?
The electric chair, the hard electric chair. It's just the electric chair.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. It felt like a front drag, like it was weird how he did it. It was vicious. Ultimo reverses the powerbomb for a roll-up for a 2. There's an Asagi moonsault now and a sit-out powerbomb for a 2. Drop toe hold and a roll-up for a 2. The crowd now are completely with Liger. JR chastises him for going up top, and Liger meets him up there and hits a DDT off the top. Ultimo gets his shoulder up on a 2. There's a powerful sit-out powerbomb, and rather than pin, Liger puts him on the top and hits a Frankensteiner and covers Ultimo to win the IWGP Championship. We've seen title change on the card as well.
Yeah.
Sam, thoughts on 2 of your boys?
Yes, well, I do like Liger because I don't want the last time that we cover Liger is when he's in the arms of Oz.
It's a good point, really.
Yeah.
We do.
I think that's the only time we've covered
No,
it.
that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Baby Liger.
But we needed to see him in a good match.
Yeah, I feel like you've cleansed the palate of Liger.
And it's Ultimo, and I just love the gear the booth have as well.
Oh, they just look amazing, don't they? I mean, if you was a kid, you're watching these. Look at this, it's like 2 Power Rangers.
And I do remember seeing 2 of these on the old wrestling channel. Because I think they had a match, obviously not with the English commentary. But he definitely had this match, because I know they wore different gear.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to find. It was that one. But then I thought, you know what, I've got Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, it worked out. We got a bit of Tony and JR, the dulcet tones of Tony Schiavone.
But yeah, I do really like it. And these are 2 of the best cruiserweights ever.
Yeah,
I would say.
So I always think of them as junior heavyweights. Now that sounds silly, but I think they am different because I think cruiserweights would have done way more. When I think of cruiserweights, I think of way more off the top, flippity flip.
Yeah, I think
and if someone says a junior heavyweight, I think of more mat work with a bit.
So would you say like Jamie Noble, James Gibson's more like a junior?
Yeah, I would.
He's more grounded,
more as a junior.
It's just Japan, just treated as you're just lighter, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Still work the same.
Yeah.
Do a couple more top rope moves, but you're still just
lighter.
lighter.
Similar to like the boxing stuff, they have proper weights.
Yeah.
So,
but if you said it as well, I mean, Ultimo Dragon does his high offense from the ropes, but not the top. He very rarely goes up top, and when he does go up top, he just falls off.
Stop doing it,
Jack.
Yeah, it was very good. They built it right there. It starts mat-based. It starts like a proper contest, which is billed as in Japan. So they're both trying to take each other down and do holds, and then it builds, and you get more big moves, more high offense, impact offense, and then Liger wins. And it don't have to be a finish. Either can just be a big move, and you can.
You didn't watch that and think, "Oh, how's he won with that?"
Yeah, as he won with a Rana.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think it's a very, very good junior heavyweight match.
Yeah.
From 2 of the best, like Sam said.
Yeah,
and stylistically, it's good to look.
I think we've already covered one match on this same show. Because this is the WCW one.
What
is
with
this
Nails?
Ron and
Thor, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this is the same show.
What a match!
Bloody hell, the pace of that match was a bit different.
It was a bit.
So there you get in Ludwig.
So we're at sub-main event time. Where are we going for our match 6?
Right.
Match 5 rather.
Now spoiler for both. They're both going to be in your house.
In your house.
And we keep going on about these matches, so I think it's about time we bloody watched them.
Yeah.
So the first one is from In Your House Mind Games. Forgive me, I've not got the date. I think it was
22nd of September.
I knew it was September 96.
Yep.
But it's Shawn Michaels versus Mankind.
Yes.
Good Mankind. Psycho Mankind.
Yes, Brown Mankind.
Brown Mankind.
Mankind's
also
theme.
shares the same birthday as me.
He does. Yes. Happy birthday
this
to
is the Mankind podcast.
Yes.
Matches.
Yeah, have to ring up Foley and see what he wants.
What do you want?
I bet there's a death match in there. And a Santa match.
Let's swap. You get drunk and I'll fly off a cake.
Well, that's great.
Mankind's evil demonic theme plays and druids bring out a casket. Paul Bearer follows them out. He's old Paul Bearer. He's not turned into Ginger Paul.
Yeah, but this is called Paul because he can pull their faces.
This is a weird 3. I don't remember these 3 being a 3-man booth very often, but it's Vince McMahon, JR and Mr. Perfect. They're on comms. They do a nice job of building up the danger of Mankind and what he brings to the match. And he's not. Oh, sorry, Mankind's not even appeared yet, has he? He comes out the casket.
He comes out the casket.
Pops up out the casket. Which, again, is a brilliant tease for where it goes later.
Yeah.
It's just so
Mankind, when he come in, only feuded with Taker. I know he had that match with Bob Holly. but his feud was Taker, so it's sort of like you kind of that's where he's gonna be. So for him to be then feuding with your champ Shawn, it kind of
I know what you mean.
It's not what you're used to.
Yeah, I think
the fact that like this in '96. What the hell are you laughing?
Well, he obviously had matches with other people as well.
I don't think he did. I think he actually just feuded
with Bob Holly and Taker. That's it. He only had 2 matches in '96.
Oh, Eldon Montoya.
Shawn Michaels and his Mexican granddad are out next.
Oh dear.
Just get a nice
pop. With Jose.
That was such a stupid thing, wasn't it?
Was.
It could have been a one and done. I don't mind at Mania with him, he trained him in the Iron Man. But don't keep him with Jose.
They kept him up till I'm sure it was Raw Rumble, or it?
Yeah.
Well, this is the show where Jose had a match. Fake Razor and Diesel.
Yeah, he fought corner.
And ECW was in the crowd all day for this.
What a paper! This is a weird pay-per-view.
What a moment in time.
There's a nice pop, but it's very high pitched. Shawn does get a nice pop.
I wonder why.
Vince couldn't go any higher either, as he completely creams himself.
He's a man.
There's no messing from
charismatic athlete.
There's no messing from Mankind though, as he drops Shawn with a back body drop and then a cactus clothesline. Very creative spot though early as Shawn drop kicks Mankind as he's exposing the steel and then sort of stomps onto the mat which is covering him. You don't see that very often. Finishing the spot with a top rope crossbody to the outside as well. Shawn then face slams the back of Mankind's head onto the concrete. There's jabs and a clothesline, and JR says that the faster pace suits Shawn Michaels. There's a top rope elbow and an early tease of the Sweet Chin music, but Mankind shows the move respect by literally running away from it, which I think does actually put it over. The fact that it's Mankind and he's running off from it.
And he has to sit there rocking with the
there's nice aggression now as the two men brawl and the stiff rights. Mankind squeals as he teases the mandible claw. Shawn suplexes Mankind onto the steps on the outside and works over the leg, slamming it onto the wooden casket on the outside.
God, you hurt that much back of your legs on that.
Some of the bumps he takes.
He always did that,
No wonder he can't move.
I can't believe he can.
Pain all the time.
Shawn pushes away Earl to show that he's sort of grumpy Shawn. And there's a spinning leg drag into a figure four, which gets a few woos from the crowd. The crowd are really hot as the leg work continues in a single leg grab. I've put single leg crap. Oh, that made me laugh.
What?
Mankind stops the offence and gets some fanfare as he drops Shawn, well, sort of on a reverse powerbomb onto the top rope. I love the character work though, as Mankind's obviously had his leg worked over, so what he's got to do is put blood back into it by stabbing his leg with a pen.
I got pencil. What the hell did you laughed it?
So good though, isn't it, the character work there? Because you wouldn't think Cactus Jack, even though it is obviously Cactus Jack, he's only been Mankind for like 3 or 4 months, and you've immediately forgot the fact that he's had a 6 or 7 year career as a completely different character.
It's completely different.
It's just so good.
Wait till you see Doodle.
Yeah, well. Mankind now charges his knee first into Shawn in the corner. This perfect fumbles over his words as Shawn builds a small comeback, tripping Mankind on a slide through, but it leads to Shawn taking his corner bump and then getting hung up. And Mankind hits a series of fist drops. There's a leg drop to the back of Shawn's head and a big boot to the outside. Mankind crashes into the steel on his knee charge. I mean, you've done your leg work. Move on. And then a drop toe hold onto the steps. Vince teases that we might see Goldust or The Undertaker again tonight. We didn't see Goldust, thankfully. That would have been weird. As the crowd pop again for Mankind going headfirst into the ring post on the apron. He checks some bumps, doesn't he? There's a scoop slam for a 2, and then Mankind does his hanged in the top rope spot. But you didn't need to do that. You've lost it here. There you go. I love this though, as Mankind in the spots he puts the mandible claw on Shawn as he's literally being guillotined between the ropes. It's unbelievable. Shawn chops down Mankind with a chair and then cracks the hand of Mankind, which is good as well. Works over the hand and bites it, which doesn't really make much sense, but we'll go with that, because you could just bite the mandible claw, couldn't you? Really, but okay, we'll go with it. You can't.
Claw right hand when you push it.
Outside tries again, but he's thrown into the steel. Psychology here is brilliant as he continues to work over the hands. Mankind back body drops Shawn to the outside. There's a Mankind elbow from the apron, or is it a cactus elbow, or is it a dude love elbow, or is it a
Foley elbow?
Mankind now is on top as he hits a double arm DDT to get his first cover in a long time. Shawn kicks out. There's a pulling pile driver, which gets a near fall and leads to Mankind tearing his hair out. He throws in the chair and then opens the casket. And again, I love that tease, because we know where it's going to go. Yeah. The fact that they've shown he's still empty. It's just clever. They brawl around it. Shawn hits a flying forearm and a top rope crossbody, but Mankind flops into a second one. Then Shawn crotches on the top. The spot now where Shawn reverses a back suplex and lands on Mankind, crashing through the Spanish announce table.
Oh, that was brilliant. Because that never happened, did it? No. I think only Bret had gone through it once.
Bret did it with Diesel.
And I think Shawn did as well on the Good Friends, Better Enemies after Mania.
But never done one like that.
Not like that.
Top.
It's an unbelievable spot.
But the fact you saw Vince talk to the ref, I could tell Vince was probably pissed off that he probably don't know. But
you can tell the product's changing just by this match. You can tell it. They work their way back into the ring. The only downside, I suppose, to the match is that Vader runs out to cause a DQ.
God damn it, Vader! What are you doing?
Paul Bearer cracks Shawn with the urn, and that brings out Sid with his awful punches to take out Vader. There's a mandible claw locked on to Shawn with the bell ringing out. Again, I do like the fact that it keeps him so strong.
Yeah.
He tells the lid to be lifted, so he's going to put him in the casket. Inside,
Paul.
He's Undertaker. Paul Bearer. He rectifies the whole problem with the false finish by acting amazingly. Just sort of yelping and
shit! That we saw the urn up as well.
So fucking good, isn't it? It's so good.
Very underrated.
One of the best.
It's a brilliant reveal as well.
Yeah, and the fact that most of the fans have believed he can turn, because you've literally seen.
We've done it about 3 times.
He takes out Mankind, beating him and chasing him through the entrance, and Shawn recovers and shows his ass. But
96 Shawn.
Go on, Sam. I'll let you give.
Yeah, it's a brilliant match. I actually had forgot that Vader come out,
and I had
because I was trying to think, how did this actually end? I just couldn't remember it.
I think though, even
the right thing.
The problem is the right thing though, yeah, because
there's a lot of it's a bit like the Fiend, isn't it? You could criticise should he have been in a world title match because you're putting yourself in the corner, but it's probably the only time that WWE have done it. And then done it right to get themselves out of it.
They just gone, well, we call beat, so he's got to win.
Well, everyone in this match,
apart from Sid,
with his awful fucking punches. Shawn comes out and he's now legitimate.
It gave him a bit of an edge
as a brawl.
I think that's what you needed with him.
Mankind still looks like a beast.
Yeah.
Like we don't know whether he would have won or lost the match, and afterwards he gets the mandible claw. Taker gets the biggest pop of the match. Paul Bearer, amazing.
And the whole product, because it's like, okay, this is what we want to see a bit more now.
Yeah. Don't know what's going to happen.
So, and then unfortunately, Russo just went over the top with it. But if you
give that man a suck.
But it's just brilliant looking at it, and I think Foley says it's his best match. Or one of his best matches. And I think he said that Shawn says it's one of his favourites as well. Because I think at the time, as from what Foley said, Shawn said, it gave him that edge.
Yeah.
Because he was too much like the pretty boy, high-flying face. Yeah, he'd have to fight with this monster.
Yeah.
He's never going to fight Taker. So
I mean,
that's why you've got basically the heel Taker.
Yeah,
in a sense, are you at this point?
Oh yeah, you can tell where Taker's going as well with his character. But I mean, the thing with Mankind is he's only got one good year left in WWE before his body literally gives up, and he mainly causes that by jumping off the top of a cell.
Yeah.
But this is the back end of his career, and yet he's just so good in this match. And having someone like Shawn who can brawl and also
do a bit of flying for you, so you've not got to do it
just the selling and everything. Yeah. I love the spot where he's got his head in the ropes and he's putting the mandible claw on. The spot where he reverses it and lands on him to go through the table. I know nowadays it doesn't seem like a big spot, but back in '96, you would be thinking, Jesus Christ, you said this before.
There was another spot where they kind of called back to the Vader when he did move and Shawn got angry. Yeah, I think that's when he threw him up. He went to go up and Mankind did move. Yeah. So Shawn come off, and then I think they slap him or hit him. Yeah. And you saw Mankind like properly hit him.
Yeah.
But that was, according to Shawn, that was Foley's idea to make it seem a bit more real.
Yeah.
Like, I've pissed him off again.
But if you pissed off, with Mankind, you just beat the shit out.
Yeah, he's just, I'm just going, yeah.
I mean, I loved it, Jack.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. It was very, very, very good. You know, it was a different type of main event that WWF was putting on at the time.
Yeah.
It was more crispy. It was more wrestling, mat-based sort of stuff, you know, with Bret and everything. And Shawn was flashy. And having Mankind in the main event as a brawler did help Shawn. Mankind comes out looking brilliant. Shawn comes out looking brilliant. Taker comes out looking brilliant. Vader's still in the title picture.
Yeah.
So Sid's around.
You know, you ain't harmed anything.
You know, I think you saying that, I would have loved to have saw Mankind at this point with Bret.
That's what I mean.
See how Bret would have done with this as well.
It's a shame.
It'd have been in fucking headlines.
It's a shame. I think he would have still done it though, Bret. I
don't know whether
Shawn's a bit more flashy, so I think Shawn's would have been slightly better.
Yeah.
But I think Bret, I don't know. I just want to see
it. I know he did really
that. That's when
that Mankind was sort of. I mean, it literally was a year and a half feud. He literally was Taker, weren't
he? Yeah, he was that monster side.
Because it would have been interesting just to see a run with someone like Bret or, you know, some of the better wrestlers. Ahmed Johnson, you know what I mean? That sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Give me that. Put that in my vein.
Well, we're at the main event time, and we might see two people that was in that match, but not in that match appear again. So over to you, Sam.
Right, and it's the main event. And it's, again, a match that we've both picked. Yes. Fancy cards, and that we do keep going on about. It is a match that they haven't done since.
No, they haven't.
It would be nice to do it, but it's the from Final Four. It is Flash Funk now. It is the WF title Final Four with Taker, Austin, Bret, and Vader, which 97 really got very confusing between Rumble and Mania.
Oh yeah, this is scramble around to sort shit out.
Austin won the Rumble. He was meant to fight Shawn. Shawn get up because of his leg and his smile. So you've got this match, but then he ends up Taker and Sid. How the hell did this happen?
It is very strange how he ended up with that, especially when you remember that it is only 4 or 5 months prior that we was watching Mankind v Shawn, and it ends up with Taker Sid.
Yeah.
And Taker and Sid. Sid was a face, and Taker. It's just really strange.
It's very confusing.
Mankind fight at 12.
13,
excuse me.
Him and Vader fought Bulldog and Owen for the tag.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Exactly.
WrestleMania 13 is a strange
card. Very I watched it again recently.
It's the transition.
Very strange. He's on commentary for one match.
There you go. That's blew my mind.
How do you like them eggs? Right, so the blimp flies around as Fink builds up our main event. See, as much as things change, some things stay the same with Vince. Was
it karate fighters?
I can't remember.
1-800 collect.
Oh, yes, 1-800 collect. Stride expansion karate fighters.
We'll stick with them. Vader is led out by Paul, still supporting his dyed black hair. Not quite ginger Paul yet.
Not quite.
We get the rules, so it's elimination style, and it's also over the top rope rules as well. So
I think it's because of the Raw Rumble thing they did with Austin, which was quite clever in a way.
Yeah, sensible.
It was clever, and then Shawn fucked everything up. So I was like, fuck it, make it for the belt.
Yeah, ruined everything. Austin not getting a massive pop on the glass break is weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just strange here in there.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get in.
Vader and Austin flip each other off, which I love. Grumpy Vader.
You see Vader pick up the steps and just smash him for no reason.
He already looks like a beast, though.
Yeah.
So fucking
this is
big.
You
don't realise how big.
When he's standing
like Taker and you think, fuck you know.
I just don't understand how he don't get it. I mean, I know why he didn't get this title run because of Shawn Michaels, but he should have had that belt.
You look at him and you think, well, this is going to be.
Look at the state of him, yeah,
exactly. And he can do a moonsault. And he's fucking mad.
You can build shit around this man.
Put the belt on that man.
JR and King are on our commentary team as the signs show us what's to come. Yes, there's a lot of signs in the crowd. Taker pops the crowd as Bat Taker is heading out to the ring. Bret cuts a promo backstage. He's confident whilst putting over all the other three men. He does do that quite well, Bret. Even though he's not a brilliant promo. He does tend to put over
things in a nice.
He ties things in, and I think he kind of subtly as well keeps him over because if you bury the other person, then you lose. It devalues you in a way.
Oh, yeah,
so you can kind of understand him saying, you know what, these three will probably fuck me up, but you know if I win, I'll fuck up them three.
Good promo, Sam. Good promo. I do like the fact that we follow him from the interview right out to the arena as well, which is great. And he does get a reaction, but I don't think his reaction is quite as big as Taker's. I think Taker's the most over in this.
I think at this point they were starting to turn on Bret.
And I think that might be why Vince looked and thought, I think I'm going to go with Taker.
Well, I've had enough with you.
But they did have a really good, unique thing with Bret at that time.
Yeah, where they went.
That was just perfect, and I think that's what helped him really with winning against WCW.
Definitely, yeah. Four corners then, and we group up. So it's Taker and Vader and Shawn and Bret.
Shawn and Bret.
It's Austin and Bret. But in fairness, JR also fucks up because he says he's Stone Cold and Austin. So
I find himself.
And now I was about to criticise him, and I did exactly the same. Taker hits a big clothesline to Vader, and then takes it to Austin and Bret. Old school by Taker to Austin and Vader.
Is this old school at this point?
It's just school.
Or is it primary school?
Current school. Yeah. Vader belly to belly's Taker. We immediately drop to the outside, but through the ropes as Vader and Taker go outside. Oh God, this spot now. Taker big boots the steel chair into the face of Vader, but it's the hard side. With
God. Was that hard way then? Or
part of his cheek was hanging off, I think, at one point.
So no, we still had the mask on, but it was like the blood was...
Yeah, it cuts the eye. It helps him in many ways. Because he looks...
It adds to his aura,
He just looks... any other man would have been dead.
Well, Vader had to take his mask off for his eye.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Austin, meanwhile, jawbreakers his way out of a sleeper from Bret. Vader takes a choke slam from Taker. Much better than Hogan. I always say that, but just got to remind everyone. Hogan takes a terrible choke slam.
Yes.
There's chaos now as Austin sort of stunners.
Yeah,
a twisting Taker.
I think Taker don't know what the stunner is at this point. It must be a neck breaker.
And I think the ref kind of thinks, well, I don't really know whether I should be covering.
Is it Earl?
Yes. There is two, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one outside then.
Vader looks completely messed up as he messes up Bret's back with a chair. Taker back body drops his way out of a pile driver attempt by Austin on the concrete. And it's also weird seeing Austin take any sort of back bump in it, really, because of his neck.
His neck hadn't been messed up yet.
No, exactly. Austin tosses the steel steps onto Vader on the outside.
Oh, that was
it's an absolute nightmare to make notes at this match.
Oh, it's fucking chaotic.
It is just chaos. But WWE, I understand why Vince probably likes the formulaic focus on this.
Yeah,
but as a fan, if it was there or just what the fuck is going on? It's like all over the place.
It's exciting. It's like, what do I focus on?
Yeah.
I want to watch Vader, but bloody hell, this is going on.
And I think there is something to be said for this kind of match. Just a load of chaos.
But you don't want too many. You don't want like 8, 10. if you focus on 4, you've got like 2 things. I was like, okay, do I focus on this or this?
Yeah.
Well, my favourite's over here, but this is just brilliant what they're doing. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I love that Vader runs into the steps and into the ring crew. He sort of stops and runs around the steps to dive on a man.
Vader just fucks up some shit though. This is like, I'm just breaking.
I think but as well, listening again to your friend and mine, Bruce. But apparently for this, Vader did actually cut a lot of weight because I think beforehand he ballooned up, but he did cut a lot of weight because they always say this is probably his best match he ever had in the Fed.
In WWF.
In WWF, this is his best match.
Stuff.
Yeah, well, Austin cracks. This is what I like with Vader. Austin cracks Vader with the belt, so Vader just wallops him with the forearm. Fuck off. Vader lays Bret down on the aisle, but ends up going over the guardrail for his troubles. Sid watches on, looking all angry. We're told that he's going to get the winner.
Yeah.
Taker lays in stiff shots to Vader's bloody eye. There's a Luthez press by Austin on the inside. They all do start to feel a bit gassy at this point. It slows down a touch. Bret hits a pile driver onto Austin. Vader teases a Vader bomb, which he turns into a moonsault, but misses the mark. There's a choke by Taker. We're using the cables on the outside. Bret gets a 2 on a Bret Rote elbow. Austin recovers to work over the leg of Taker on the steel post. Vader's face. I mean, you can't really see it. It's just red. It's just literally a block of red.
He's put his head in tomato sauce.
He really has. Austin survives the first elimination attempt, holding onto the ropes, but doesn't survive a second, and is thrown out. Somewhat understatingly, really, the fact that Austin won the Royal Rumble.
And he's the first.
And he's not, but it's even that. It's just a very little build. He's just sort of gone right him out now. And that's it.
Yeah, see ya. Well, it's had the last you see him.
No. He does sort of leave initially, so you think he's gone. Vader chops the leg of Taker, and we see Sid pulling faces and gurning. This is where Vader just goes, I'm going to have to just take my fucking mask off, and he just throws it to the side.
See?
We missed Paul Bearer hitting Taker with the urn. Bret hits a superplex from the top onto Vader. He battles to put Vader in the sharpshooter, but stupid Taker just breaks it up. Don't know why.
You best.
Austin's back out and he brawls with Bret. Inside, Vader teases a Vader bomb, but gets a low blow, and he sort of topples him over the top rope, so Vader is out. The camera literally is shaking as well with the pop that gets. So it leaves us with Bret and Taker, the two faces. Taker sort of starts brawling with Austin and then choke slams Bret. To me, I felt like the crowd wanted Taker as the champ. And it has been such a long time since he's had the belt as well.
I think they've started to realise we probably need to put the belt back on at this point.
Austin tries to drag out Bret from a tombstone attempt, but only gets him onto the top rope. Taker chooses to aid Bret to then deal with Austin, and then Bret clotheslines Taker over the top. Maybe that's a subtle nod to the heel turn that would come, because he took advantage of Taker's helping him. And Bret is our new champion. At the end of the show, sees Sid come out and tease Monday Night Raw. Which
Sid won the belt.
Yeah. It's a sign of the time.
3 attempts of the match because Austin kept coming out.
Yeah.
Very chaotic.
But yes, our 4-way main event ends with Bret as champion. Sam?
Well, it's brilliant. I love it. I said it's a match that needs to come back, although I think subtly they kind of linked it to the Royal Rumble with everyone going over the top. Nobody got pinned, nobody submitted. So it kind of keeps them strong in that sense.
Yeah.
Because, it was a way of elimination. But it's the perfect multi-man match.
Yeah.
And I think multi-man matches, is, with the triple threat and fatal 4-way, it needs to be elimination. I think them better when they're elimination as opposed
I think so as well. I think you can build more story with elimination. I mean, there is something to be said for maybe, a sudden death win within it.
Triple threat maybe, but fatal 4-way no. The only
no.
The only thing I would say, how weak did Austin look after this going out first?
Well, that's the only thing that made me think is that I ain't sure that Vince is even sold now that he's going to go with Austin at this point, even though he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he's convinced that he's going to go with him because he comes out. wouldn't say he comes out weaker than he went in, but he don't come out any better than he went in. Whereas I think the other three
he did it was because he'd gone out. And these was the other three that he eliminated after going out.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So
well,
they could have built Diesel in.
They could have built. They could have built his elimination better, but I don't think he has to go out first because of all the shit that happens after.
Yeah,
you've got to make people forget about him.
And also as well, he is just a pain in the arse, and that's the point.
At this point,
I think he's just a pain in Bret's arse.
He's the really corporate things. So we just got to get rid of it. And this Vader was the MVP because he looked like a proper monster.
Vader looks amazing.
He looks brilliant in this. And from what you said with the reactions, Taker was probably the bigger face. You could tell you got Vader as the bigger heel, the monster. You got Taker, and then you got them two in the middle. So it's like, and then at Mania, it was just perfect at this point. You wouldn't think it at the time, but this was perfect for the WF at that point.
I just think as a match, as a main event, it felt so chaotic. You can tell it felt fresh. I just wish, because Vader ends up in that tag.
He's in the tag title match,
and then that's it, pretty much, isn't it, for him?
He's just floating around.
And I just wish they'd have done more with Vader coming out of this, because Vader, to me, his stock immediately went back up to main event. As soon as
singles match at Mania, if he can just destroy like a beloved babyface, you can gradually build him up for a B pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, I mean, sensibly, you would have thought that the match was going to be him versus Taker, wouldn't you? But obviously Taker becomes the number one.
Becomes a champ because you've got Sid.
Yeah.
Sid's still around. Shawn's fucked off for a bit, but then Shawn comes back after. It's just all chaotic, but when you watch it back,
I just loved it. I thought
gradually comes together.
It was a nightmare to make notes on, but the action was so relentless. It really is a difficult job doing a 4-way and making everyone seem legitimate. And you could argue maybe they didn't quite do it with Austin, but all three of the other ones come out stronger than they went into me. And even Sid, I don't particularly like using a pay-per-view to build a Raw, but it was the style of the time. And I think the fact that Sid's coming out to build it at the end as well puts Sid over straight away as legitimate challenger for the belt. I think
Sid should have fought Shawn on that Raw where he did it up, and the winner of this was going to fight for the belt. I don't know if it was at Mania or the Raw. I would assume it's Mania.
Yeah,
so really, in a perfect world, Shawn would have won, and Bret would have won, and then it's like, okay, we got this, but then obviously Shawn's knee and his smile got knackered. And, well, we've got to have Sid win the belt, but Taker's here because he's getting the biggest pop.
Yeah. I mean, again, you can't criticise WWE too much because they definitely put the belt on the most over person in the company at the time. By the sounds of the reactions here, anyway.
But he kept it until SummerSlam Day as well.
Yes.
When he won it, so.
Yeah.
Very good. Very chaotic. Very fresh. Very different.
Yes.
Set WWF apart from WCW because they weren't doing anything like this.
No, that's true. Totally right.
I know it was.
You'd have had NWR running him 3 times.
But it was very, very good. And I do think, the Austin elimination is only the sticking point where you could have built it up a little bit more to where it meant more. But apart from that, I think they got everything else right. And the fact that Vader, we was helped by the fact that it was cut open the hard way.
Oh yeah, it did help.
Even more of a monster.
You could kind of see Vader agreeing to that though, wouldn't you? Be like, you know what? If you wouldn't cut me, I wouldn't do the hard way.
Vader wouldn't give a shit.
He lost an eye for God's sake.
To me, like I say, he just comes out straight away as a main eventer again.
Yeah.
And he'd obviously lost his way up to them. So, round table then. I'm going to start with Jack, I think. We'll have to let Sam pick between his babies last. So, match of the card, maybe?
The tag match.
I'm going to go with Shawn versus Mankind, even though it was a false finish, just to make it interesting.
Oh, this is hard for me.
Well, it shouldn't be. You said it was the best match you've ever watched.
The best tag match I've ever watched.
I thought you said match.
Best tag match I've ever watched.
Oh.
So it's either between that or the Final Four. Probably the Final Four because I do love a battle royal, even though a lot of people shit on them. But this is a sort of like a perfect way of doing it because it's smaller and condensed.
Worst match?
the women's match.
I'm going to just give it to the Emma Moon Asuka match as well.
I think I would have to give it there. I know it was the weaker of the ones, but I still liked it.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. It could have easily won match of the card on any other pay-per-view with what. Yeah. MVP?
Tyler.
Tyler was brilliant.
There's a lot, obviously.
I'm going to give it Vader. Definitely Vader for me.
I think I've got to go with Trent for his selling of the leg.
Trent. Imagine that. Look at this card. Trent.
MVP.
I think. Well, I nearly did it.
Takes up Curtis. Just because. Again, Tyler just under, but I think Trent just because of how convincing he sold the knee.
He needed to sell it.
There's so many though. I mean, like I say, Angle was brilliant in the first match. Jake was brilliant in his spot. Mankind was brilliant. Vader. So, I think they're all. I like the fact that Trent got one though, to be honest.
Yeah.
And LVP. Round out the episode on a low note, as we should always do. We review the worst. So pick out something that was. Again, it doesn't have to be a person.
I think I know.
Doesn't have to be a person.
There's two, but one definitely.
Okay. Well, I'd probably go Austin. Just because of. I think they could have done his elimination better.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm gonna just go with Ranello or the crowd at NXT. I'm going to just go with Ranello because I just wish he'd have built a bit more.
He was the second one. He was the second. Mine was Warrior for all this build and he just fucked up.
Yeah.
Stop being a dick.
Fancy walking out on your best ever feud.
On a big feud, you got like this. And then again, he should have lost, but he probably wouldn't have. So at the same time, it's like, is this a good or a bad thing that Jag didn't have to
count the lights for Warrior? Oh, she would have got.
He'd have probably got Sid, because I think Sid was a face at that time.
I think that's where that was going to build.
Because he did feud with him in casket matches and everything.
And he got him in WrestleMania.
We got him.
And Jack, I suppose you've got to review Sam's pay-per-view. Would you buy this as a DVD, as a card, if you saw it in Woolworths?
Yeah.
One was a shot. I'd take on bridge.
I'd pay £10 for it.
Yeah.
£10, £15.
It was a fairly solid pay-per-view. I thought it was going to be much worse, to be honest. I thought it was going to all be from 2002. I thought it was going to be Backlash 2002.
Or 93.
Yeah, or 93. There wasn't a Heavenly Bodies match. That was the only disappointment. But there is August, and that's my card. We might see
you've got to see
a bit
Jiggly
of Jiggly Jimmy Del Rey.
Already saw him in that one bloody match.
But
him again.
There you go then. So that is our start to the month of June. But we will be back throughout June. We'll be doing 2 watch-alongs. The first, I can't wait. The first will be Titans NL Rings El Hombre Vegetal, which is basically a wrestling broccoli. That's going to be amazing. And then we will be doing a watch-along episode of Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, which is the cartoon. That's what we're doing in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to watch your episode of that. Are you excited about it? You got to sing along.
Uncle Phil. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, does Uncle Phil do the voice on?
JYD.
Yeah, he's doing Hillbilly Jim, isn't he?
Or Andre.
Oh, that would have been brilliant. He should have done all the voices. That would have been amazing.
That's a bad joke, being doing Hogan.
Oh, yeah, it would be, yeah. And we do round out the month of June with a pay-per-view review from 2000. It is King of the Ring on steroids. 79 million men will enter the King of the Ring. It's King of the Ring 2000. And I've decided I'm going to split the King of the Ring in half, and you two can watch the matches.
I'll tell you, I'm going to get away with it.
I'm not going to do a single note for the King of the Ring matches, the prelim matches, of course.
Yeah, you're going to do the pay-per-view.
I'm going to do the pay-per-view. Yeah.
How about we do the first round, which is the 32, and you do all the last 16.
No, thank you. No,
because then we got 8 each, and then you can do the other
I'll watch all the matches. I shall watch Perry Saturn versus Devon Dudley or whatever it is. But yes, we will be back.
You're not getting away with it.
for King of the Ring 2000. But that leaves us to say from the birthday boy himself, Sam Chance.
Goodbye.
And from the not birthday boy himself, it's Champion.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, folks.
As if recorded.
What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. We'll put him in a longboat till he's sober, put him in a longboat till he's sober, put him in a longboat till he's sober early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter. Put him in the bed with the captain's daughter early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises.